Start it recording.
Sweet.
I know you're excited.
So last time, as you guys probably remember, you were able to kill off the ex-captain and dispatch his minions as well as some gigantic dinosaur thing that almost ate two of you. And then from there, you decided that Whisper informed you of his kind of little side adventure that he went on and let you know that there were some caverns that he thought were below where you were. And you ended up finding that there was an actual entrance into this place after Strider pulled his little Indiana Jones move and dove into the hole and almost killed himself. But at that point, he found the actual door that Whisper had found earlier that was locked from the inside, was able to unsecure and allow you guys to get inside. You guys moved inside of this cavern and came across a bunch of these frog people who at first ran away from you until you got to what appeared to be their kind of nest or kind of lair, and when they all proceeded to attack you. You guys dispatched them pretty quickly with a fireball and a few other things, although they were a little annoying, paralyzing Strider. He would have been in a bad way if it would have been just him. But you guys were able to vanquish them and kind of, in the process, unfortunately, burned all of what might have been collected equipment or goods that were down there, ultimately. So, and I think that's kind of where we left off more than anything else. So, like I said, you did explore some of the cavern here. You're not sure that you got all of it, but you definitely, between you and the main group and Strider, got through the majority of it. And obviously, Whisper knows where this cave over here in this direction goes. So,
which one?
Do I have you guys on the right map? Yes, I do. I'm sorry. So if you look at where your token is, Whisper, over this direction where my pointer is, the red circle, that way is the way that leads.
Oh, yeah, all the way out to the ocean or whatever.
Wherever you ran, yeah.
The opposite direction.
The opposite.
Correct.
Correct.
So that's where you
are we playing Strider and Owen?
Yeah, I think what we'll do is the normal, right? We'll have him kind of melt into the background unless he's needed from a combat standpoint.
Okay.
But you definitely can. If there's something you think he'd speak up about, anybody can jump in and.
There's no more holes for him to dive into.
Right. I'll open up his character and then.
Yeah, I think you guys all have access. I think. So.
Which one is mine? Where is
No,
mine? There he is. Found him.
Edit. Yeah, you do actually. You all have access to him.
Access.
Then
Excellent.
what's his favorite terrain? Do you know?
Subterranean. He's a Gloomstalker, so
Okay.
You can see in the dark, and
yeah.
The
no one
Underdark
can
is his
see.
favorite terrain.
Yeah, if it's dark.
The Underdark is his favorite terrain.
Well, he didn't try to talk with him, so.
Yes, indeed. So what would you like to do? You guys are kind of, we'll just say you guys have kind of all collected on the area here that Alundo decided to light on fire. The fire is out now, but everything is kind of still smoldering. You have some, you definitely can see the wreckage there. I know some of you guys went through that and pulled what you could out of it. There really wasn't much of anything that was of a lot of value, although you did find some gems, a little bit of gold, and then a metal flask that smelled metallic when Alundo opened it up and took a whiff.
Like blood.
A little different, not copper, but
mercury.
definitely metallic.
Interesting.
Alright.
Oh,
So,
so we looked through it all, right?
Yep.
is there any reason we want to stay down here?
Well, it's kind of cozy and a lot of plant life to look at.
We do have to get Cade McCall's body back to the ship and get to Squall Haven, though.
Yes.
We can always come back
I
here.
almost forgot.
We can
Yes,
always
Randy.
come back to this place.
You have a corpse wrapped up in probably a piece of cloth or what used to be sail that you have been dragging behind you. This
Yes,
way.
and I've not preserved him, so I
He's-
don't really look forward to smelling him.
Yeah, you as you think about that, actually, you kind of catch a whiff of something you thought maybe was decaying plant material, but on second thought, maybe it's actually his
Decaying
corpse.
organic matter
Since
of a different kind.
right, yeah,
I would suggest we get this body out of here as soon as possible, take it to where it needs to go, and be on our way.
And how many hours until nightfall?
You guys went down. You took a short rest up there and went down there. So we're gonna say it's kind of early afternoon. So it's probably like 4 or 5 hours until nightfall.
All right. And
Definitely
we
enough time for you to get back to the beach, anyways.
Okay.
Assuming you go the normal way, not the way that you went out, of course, Whisper.
Let's
Right.
go the normal way.
It'd be a lot longer if you went the other way.
We'll take the fastest way out to the sunlight,
Oh,
unless anyone has any objections.
I think if we get to the beach,
Is there any way that we can make it easier transporting the body?
what'd you say?
It floats on the water. We'll just drag it behind us.
There are some of the plant life on this island here is a little bit more grown up than the others, and although it's kind of like a willowy fern kind of plant that definitely you can tell is of the subterranean kind of variety. Some of the main stalks are quite a bit thicker. They're probably 1.5 inches or 2 inches around, and with a little bit of work, you think you might be able to create some kind of a gurney or some kind of a drag that you could use for the body if you want to make yourself a little easier.
There you
All
go.
So we shouldn't be. We'll have regular movement down here since we're with Strider,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll get advantage on foraging and things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I suppose if there's something special, if anyone wants to do, a nature check to see if there's anything that's worthwhile for
Let me get my character sheet.
medicines or
Let me see.
or I could actually do that. I have a rather high medicine check if anyone.
Medicine or nature?
Well, I have medicine, but not
I have
nature.
nature, and it's quite high.
All right.
I believe.
Figured you
I
might.
think, Alondo, you already checked your nature with these plants, that the bioluminescent ones
Right.
down there, and you had never seen them before.
Yes, indeed,
so.
because I rode really low, so maybe you should look.
So would
That's
my
right.
would my medicine tell me if any of them make medicines?
Sure.
Or would it be okay? Let me try that.
I'll let you-
I'll roll a nature check too.
Okay. You are pretty confident that the bioluminescent ones that you saw could definitely be used in the treatment of
Oh, that was excellent.
some probably some sort of toxin.
Toxin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I
An
suppose
antidote, perhaps.
does it is so. Would I know? So I have a pretty good idea of how to do that. Too.
We're
Or
just
just
gonna
that I
say
know what it's
Whisper
for.
just rolled that. We're just gonna say because Whisper just rolled that that you helped him with that, since you knew it was medicine based, and he was checking it, that he would know how to remove the plants effectively without destroying them. So
Okay.
yeah, you could do that.
And we could reasonably take some time to extract whatever later. All right, so
Good
if you've
plan.
got something to carry it in, perhaps, even if it's a toxin, that might be something we can use later against, a giant turtle monster or something.
No, if you encounter something like that, maybe.
If we were to encounter something of the sort,
Something like that ever appeared, which would
it
be
might
weird.
be
Yeah.
Let
beneficial.
me see
It would
what
be-
I have.
it would be interesting if Alundo or Isla ever
Backpack.
got downtime to
Book
get an
of water.
alchemist kit together or
Bottle of
something.
Ink,
Yeah, right.
ink pen.
Sure.
10 sheets of parchment. Little bag of sand. Oh, what do I use that for? Don't
Yeah,
remember.
It's
Knife.
nice.
Oh, well.
Yeah, we'll say that you guys figure it out, and that ultimately the most effective way to do it is to try and get as much of the root as possible. So you kind of dig around a bit with one of your knives and kind of loosen the roots and do a little bit of a twist and pull, and you get. We'll get that. We'll say you get. Let's see. You get two full plants out, and you're pretty confident that they may even survive if replanted.
Oh, so we could grow them, perhaps. Oh, I could start a little herb garden on the boat.
Interesting idea. Yes.
Good.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh,
Perhaps
that's
I'll
wonderful.
I'll do that. In Alundo, then you could have some more plants if you bring the ones you'd like to research.
Oh, certainly.
Perhaps we might try to have ourselves a little herb garden somewhere out in the
That's
light
a brilliant idea.
on the ship.
Oh yeah, I just gather plants and bugs.
Okay. You want to roll a whichever you'd prefer, whatever you're better at. You want to roll a nature check. I'm assuming that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Nature.
Well, yeah. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Actually, find two species of insect that you have never seen before. You're pretty sure that they have never been documented with anything that you've ever seen before, and you gather 6. Holy crap! 6 plants that you are confident are definitely used in some pretty rare potions that would fetch a pretty hefty price, even if you weren't to attempt to make them yourselves. So you gather.
Oh, just the plants would be worth it without
Yeah.
having.
Let's see.
Well, we'll definitely try to keep them alive. If anyone has a bottle or a
Is there anything in the
glass
wreckage of the fireball that's
apothecary.
left over that we could put anything in?
Yeah, you could. What were you saying, Tiff? Sorry, I missed it.
oh, sorry.
Well, it was. Go ahead.
So I was assuming that perhaps Alundo would have some apothecary bottles if he's interested in the fauna, that perhaps we might take some of the soil and some of the water that these plants grow in so that we can try to recreate the environment as best we can in the ship. If they're used to a dark environment, we could plant them below.
That could be a problem. Since we've been out at sea, it seems most of my supplies were plundered.
Oh.
Yes. There is definitely enough wood over there that you could create some sort of a vessel or some sort of a box or something for that. But there's nothing really.
I have an idea.
There's
Yeah,
Let's
what
build one.
what did we find over with the other guy in the chest or whatever? Was there like a bowl or anything we might be able to put something in, even if it's
There were quite a few barrels that are burned pretty badly. We're just going to say that you guys find two barrels that are kind of half size now, scorched around the top, but look like they still may hold. It definitely holds soil. May or may not be watertight, but enough to collect some samples of some things anyway. So, and we'll just say they're the smaller half-size barrels that you can.
Yeah, so if we put the plants in the soil in the barrel and we carried them out that way,
easily
if it's not too heavy, then we can keep them in their environment the whole time. Maybe put another half barrel on top to keep it dark if it likes the dark. So when we take it out in the sun, it doesn't shrivel up.
Yeah,
In
you
the
can
sun,
definitely
so we
do
can
that.
keep them.
You can definitely do that. The ones that you and Whisper were able to collect, the bioluminescent ones, we'll say that they both will fit inside the single barrel. And you could cover it with that. That would be no problem.
Cool.
Alundo, the plants that you came across, not the insects, but the plants that you came across, about 110 gold worth of just the plants, just to give you an idea as to what they would be worth. You're pretty sure if you were to just sell the plants as they stay.
Why would we sell them? There's so much to learn.
Or that, whichever you'd like.
It might be beneficial for us to take some time just to research them and see if we could make some things of our own.
Exactly.
It might be more valuable to us to use than to sell.
Indeed.
Or we could do both. Depending how much we could get out of it.
I want to make sure I add some bugs to it too. Maybe some worms or something, right?
Because you will like to have people drink
Oh.
bugs and worms, I think.
No, worms make a great fertilizer. I would never want anyone to eat worms.
It's a good
No,
idea.
there's that one culture.
Stick them in the mud.
There's that one culture of Jolt. They eat worms quite often. They're supposed to be healthy.
I also got some roper juice. You could probably make some pretty nice poison out of too.
Okay.
You want to get rope and that's weird.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
have we gotten what we want and are we ready to go now?
I think so.
All right, let's do it. Let's get out of
I'll
here.
definitely mark this place on the map.
Yes, feel free to come back anytime you like. Do your own research.
Oh, maybe. I would want to come here alone.
All right.
I'll come back.
So you head back. You head back the way you came, following the same path. As you do so, kind of right on the edge of your vision, I'm assuming that, as always, Strider is probably in front, kind of outside of the torchlight. But you can definitely hear his footsteps as he goes through. He's not attempting to be very, very quiet, and you do hear occasional splashing and moving away.
He can walk on top of the water though, right?
He could if he wants to. Sure. Yep.
Is there a time limit on those gloves or something?
Yeah, there is. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's not very long. I think it's 1 minute.
It wouldn't
Yeah.
matter if you could anyway, because we can't. So somebody's sloshing.
Right.
Okay.
Indeed.
He reports back to you guys as he's ahead. Looks like we didn't get all of the frogmen. But they seem to be scurrying away and hopping out of his range. He doesn't seem to be overly concerned. Not that he was before, but
All right.
Right.
still.
Splish, splash, splosh.
Right. So you make it back to the cave mouth and out into the bright sun. You kind of all shield your eyes and look around, and things are pretty much the way that you left them. You squint and kind of look around, and even though it's extremely bright based on where you just were, you look up and you notice that there's actually a pretty heavy cloud cover here this afternoon. Kind of have rolled in clouds. Looks like it may rain. It's not raining currently, but you walk out into the sun and notice that that foul odor that you kind of caught a whiff of underground is starting to permeate from up here with all the carnage that's been left behind. There's pretty much everywhere you look, there are lizard man bodies everywhere.
I don't even feel like I want to take time to burn them. Let's just get off this island and back onto the ship with the one decomposing body that we're keeping.
Can we assess if these were undead?
Sure, you can make a religion check.
Okay.
Some of them were, right? Because
Yeah.
Is he destroyed?
I was
I
pretty
destroyed them.
confident that based on the fact that you blew up, I don't know, 6 or 8 of them in one shot, that at least those were. But yeah,
Okay.
go ahead and make a religion check.
I'll do it too. I'll give him advance.
Just
I'll
do
give
it.
him
Yeah, you can just make it.
Mine was sucky.
Yeah,
but,
well, you did fine. Yes, you are very confident that not only were all of the lizard men undead, but it appears that the captain was undead as well the gigantic dinosaur.
Sweet.
Appeared to be undead.
Whoa, oh dear. I highly recommend we burn them.
No,
It's been known undead
All right.
comes back. I don't know.
That makes sense. All right, so
Unfortunately, it will take time.
yeah, so we'll have to get them all in their places. How obnoxious.
we could just drag them all over to the big T-Rex body and set the fire.
Right, burn them on the beach, right? We don't want to set the whole island on fire. But so what? We got to take them. That's a long way to drag all
Well,
of those.
we
So
just,
this temple place. What about the temple place in the middle? It's wooden, yeah.
I mean, they already have the burning braziers, right? We just drag the bodies over on one of those.
They are still burning too. Yes.
So those, right? Yeah, but we're going to need a bit more kindling. Bodies just don't. They're not going to burn hot
Well,
enough without.
I mean,
Well, that's why I'm saying that pavilion in the middle is wood, isn't it?
yeah, it looks like it's thatch. Yep.
So, right. So let's go stack them over there. That's where the hole is going down into the pit. We'll take the thatch and we'll burn it.
So as you guys are discussing that,
Have to burn
Whisper,
the
you
dinosaur.
and Strider actually, all of a sudden, at the corner of your eyes, both almost in tandem, look up at the top of the plateau, kind of directly above you, and you notice standing there appears to be a half-naked halfling with a large beard there, who's looking down at you.
Does it look like the one that was in the? To Strider, does it look like it's the one that was released?
It's pretty, yeah, it's pretty, you're pretty sure that that's the case.
All right, Strider will just raise his hand and acknowledge that he sees him.
Okay. He does
And,
the same.
Raise a torch and then burn them all, right?
Yeah.
Maybe,
Wave the torch at him and then light the bodies up.
yeah, wave him down and see if he
So
wants to
he
help
says
us.
that we're taking care of it. Yeah.
He shouts from the top. No need. We
No. Oh.
take care of.
Oh, there's more.
And
They're gonna take
as he
care of
says that, you notice, you didn't really notice it before because you're kind of fixed on him, that it appears that the trees behind him are kind of moving. And
There's
about a rough count, there's about 25 of these various sized, apparently halflings, all dressed very similarly. They're all either wearing nothing on above the waist or just kind of have furs draped across them of various animals. All the men have long beards. All of the women are all pulled back. It actually appears the women may be the warriors of the groups because they're all carrying some sort of battle axe or sword. Although not in great condition, they're definitely better equipped than the men are, and are all kind of taking casual but defensive positions with the group there.
Strider's, since he had, the interactions with the Berserker, he's going to ask if they'll also do the honors of proper burial or cremation of our beast folk that are down in the gully.
We will send back to spirits.
Thank you. Does anyone object to leaving the clubs and the shields to these folks?
Don't think so. I would like to just do a little thaumaturgy
Are,
for these
are
folks.
these
just
the frogmen?
no, these
So-
are the berserker, the one that was in the cage. That
The
they
halfling.
had in the cage, the
Maybe
halflings
Oh yeah, that's right.
that
That's right.
he
Yeah,
released.
yeah.
So-
Insight.
Sure.
So I'm just going to do some thaumaturgy so that my voice is louder,
Uh-huh.
so you can hear me, and just do a little bit of like light behind me that maybe looks sort of like wings, but aren't really solid, right? So, and just say, blessing on you and your people. May you, I don't know. May the gods always be in your favor. Right.
Roll
May
a
the
persuasion
gods be
check
always in your favor.
roll a persuasion check with advantage,
Oh,
since you've made yourself look holy.
yes. Persuasion. How do I put advantage on it? Does it matter?
I think you can just roll it because it rolls twice. The two.
Right.
All right.
Thanking them, right?
Half of them, and it looks like actually all the men, fall to their knees actually, and kind of fall almost prone.
All the men. Does that mean that the women have a higher intelligence?
Yeah, entirely possible. You can tell that they actually, you can tell that the women in general kind of, you can see that they look down and kind of, some of them roll their eyes, but some of the others are kind of listening more intently now. But the one who was speaking, who again you guys have identified probably as the one that was the captive, and says, Lady of Light, we do as you command.
Okay. So, I thank you, my friend, and much appreciate your caring for our lost companions, helping them cross over to the other side appropriately.
He nods.
Mhm.
He nods.
So there's that. It's all
Okay.
friends.
They kind of look, and as you guys kind of continue, about yourselves, they pop up and busy themselves. You can see that it takes two of them to drag one of the lizard folk, but they are quickly making a pile, which is a pretty gruesome sight. You can see that there are the plateau itself is slick with this black ichor that was draining from them as it was, that, as you guys noticed, and they seem
Let's
to
not be downwind, shall we?
Yeah, you see that they are dragging all the lizard men into one spot, and then you kind of glance around the edge of the plateau, and you see that look like there are half a dozen that are over by the dinosaur body that are slowly hacking it to bits, trying to cut it into manageable sizes, which is also pretty gruesome. Inside is obviously spilled out because that's where.
Gross.
But
There's not even anything they can eat out of there.
Oh, they're definitely. You can tell it's pretty gruesome work for them, but they're doing it.
Here, I've got a question I wanted to ask last time. So, is the cursed dagger that we had in the boat still on McCall's body, and is it still standing up on him?
It is absolutely perfectly vertical.
Okay.
Not with enough pressure to pierce the body, but is standing vertical. If you grab it and attempt to pull it away, it immediately flies back to where it is and moves to the same spot.
Good enough.
I see.
Oh, I know that we should have a Lundo go over to this broken boat or whatever it is, and just kind of break off and make a makeshift wagon that he can just drag the body behind him on instead of carrying it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You guys already have a little bit of a litter that you created with the boughs from the other, but you can definitely, there's enough material there that you can make it into a little more of a substantial structure that's easier to support the body, and you can move a little faster.
Okay.
Easily done.
Okay.
All right, so it looks like it's going to rain, perhaps.
It does.
So we might want to get to the ship before the weather turns ugly.
Yeah, let's see. Strider's going to make a survival check on that to see
when
I believe he has advantage on it. I think all Rangers get advantage on their survival checks.
He is pretty sure it's going to rain in 2 hours and 10 minutes.
All right.
All right, then.
That'll get us halfway back to the boat.
About. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So let's get moving. We're dragging a body and a barrel full of plants.
Yeah, between Strider and Owen, they're able to manage the corpse no problem. So you guys just have to worry about this half-sized barrel, which is relatively heavy, but as long as you trade it off, it's not that unmanageable.
Well, can we share the load?
You can.
Maybe
You can
if
walk.
I don't know if it's got handles or something somewhere. Maybe Alundo and I can carry a side.
You could use. I guess that would probably be if you want to make a survival
Could
check.
stab my dagger into the side and pick it up that way, right? To
Good.
make a handle.
You could also make a survival check if you're helping each other, right? So yeah, that's fine. We'll just say you're able to take a length of rope and
there you go.
make a makeshift tie between the two and suspend it between your shoe and
Something
that.
so
Yep.
that we're not dragging it through the sand. It'll make us go extra slow.
Yep, no problem. All right. Anything you want to do before you head out then?
We'll just wave again and say thank you and be on our way.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Blessings and fortune.
Yep. You raise your arm and you notice
No
that
more undead.
the vast majority respond with the same. Not all, but most do.
Yeah, the women are just jealous. It's alright.
Could be that.
Cool.
So you head south, head back out of the swampy terrain and into the more of the forested rolling hills. You easily follow the two-track, and more than that, even the path of your remaining beast folk in Shalrog. You can see that their tracks are relatively fresh here in the ground. And you followed out, pretty uneventful. You hear some snapping and some other clear signs of animal life, but nothing overly large or anything that's a concern for any of you as you make your way through. Almost to the T, as Strider predicted, the skies open up and it begins to absolutely
Oh
pour.
dear, my papers are gonna get wet.
Well,
It is very stormy.
should we? I was
It's
going to say, yes, that's a good idea.
It does it's, between carrying the extra load and the weather, you're forced to slow your pace a bit. But it's not so bad that it's a hurricane, so to speak. So you're able to follow your path without too much problem. It's just more of an annoyance than anything else. But you continue on, and eventually you make it to the beach.
All right. Okay. So we're on the beach, and it's pouring rain,
It is coming
and
down.
we have to get out to the boat with our dead body and our barrel of plants.
You come out.
So the ship needs the body, right, so that the haunting ceases. That's the idea.
Yes, we bring the body, and I believe the spirits will probably tear what remains of his soul out and eat it or something. I don't know.
So,
Delightful.
okay, so we'll leave the body on that ship, right, and we'll go hang out on the other one for the night, just to make sure.
Yeah.
Or out
the
on the
amount-
dinghy, just to see.
With the amount of beast folk that we lost, do we have enough people to crew both ships?
You do not, unfortunately. You have 6 left.
Should we go recruit some of the gentlemen who thought perhaps that they might be admirers? You mean they're,
Wait, who's this?
You
Who's
have-
this? That might be a Myers. I might have missed a session or something.
the halflings? No,
No,
the
the
ones that I just waved
berserkers that
to,
went
that they
prone.
all bowed down when I said goodbye and thank you.
I don't know if they're women, but unless we
Oh,
spot
trust
them.
me, their women don't get to say. Let's not pretend that this is a feminist island.
I think it would be wise.
Should we, they would be loyal, perhaps, right? And if we gave them the choice, if they would like to adventure with us rather than commanding them.
You do know between Owen and Whisper that with the beast folk you have and yourselves and Shalrog, you have enough to crew one of the boats, but not enough.
So, how many more would we need to be able to crew them both?
You would probably, let's see, 6 and 10. You would need another, minimum you would need another 6 individuals.
Okay, so, right, so we can trade off, whichever ship I'm not on, right, and have, so we're looking for 6. So, shit, we've already walked 2 hours, haven't we? Away
Yes,
from you guys.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Does anyone want to take a trip back with me to see if we might recruit some help? And then the others take the rest of the things to the boat.
I would like to go.
Alright. So, Lundo and I go back, and Whisper and Strider take the things, the body and the plants to the boat.
Yeah, I'll make sure the boats are ready to.
Also,
shape.
Whisper, please make sure that you put the barrel down below. Don't leave it out in the sun.
No, put it in your
Just
quarters.
find a dark corner in the supplies, and Lundo and I will see to it when we return.
Yeah, I'll secure
It's
it.
not too much trouble.
I'll secure it like we would any really valuable chest or something with straps and tie them in.
Okay. Yeah, as you guys kind of emerge out on the beach and are kind of discussing both of you, you notice that the weather is definitely affecting the seas as well out here. So, although it's, again, not a full-blown hurricane, there are some pretty big rollers coming in, and you can make out the distance exactly where you left it. But rollers are such that you can see the boat sink, and you can see just the top of the mast, and then the boats come back into view again. And
Wow.
that's how big the rollers are out on the water.
So as you and Alunda go, I'll go with Shalrag and Owen and make sure the ships are going to be ready, and then we'll discuss, if towing the smaller boat would slow us down too much, or what we need to do to make everything go, and then.
Well, I mean, if we can wait out the storm, I'd rather not leave the small boat until we know for sure that this body is going to release that curse.
Yep.
So, we could always... I mean, I don't like the idea of just releasing it into the water either, but we're going to give it to some of the crew.
So yeah, you guys are on the beach kind of discussing this. And,
Reward somebody loyal, right, and let them take volunteers. I don't know.
We could.
If it comes down to that.
Shalrog and the remaining beast folk have created a pretty large ass bonfire on the beach here, and as you kind of emerge, Shalrog stands up as well as the rest of the beast folk and run over your direction.
Okay.
He says, "You survived. I was beginning to have my doubts based on that overwhelming odds, but it surprised me again." I bet it was.
But they're gonna try to recruit some more sailors from a group of halflings we found. I'll help you get the ship together, and we got the fucker. We got the captain. so we can give the body to the dead, to our ghosts.
He smiles a bit and says, he got what he deserved. That's awesome. That's wonderful. You found some halfling sailors, though. He kind of raises his eyebrow. I've never heard of such.
I don't know if they're sailors, per se. They do live on an island, right? So it might stand to reason that they know how to sail.
It's a peninsula, isn't it?
Oh, well, by the water, nonetheless. I'm sure they
Nick, we'll take whatever help we can get at this point. We don't have the numbers to crew them both, so we'll have to do what we can. But if you can get a few more, maybe we can sail them both. If not, we'll have to get creative, I think.
Alondo,
Yes.
Alondo, do you want to send Thorin a message saying that we'll be leaving as soon as we can?
I will as soon as I get a rest.
Okay.
Right, so
Alright, so you
walk
guys-
back.
So you won't have that because you guys are gonna walk back, right? So we'll do that part first. And then
Strider will go back with them, and then we'll take care of the ships.
Okay, so we'll do your
Alright.
part with Owen in just a second. We'll do theirs first. So we'll say you guys make your way back. Obviously, you're less encumbered without the bodies and without the barrel, but the weather's not doing you any favors either. So the path at this point is almost second nature. But you make your way back. And as you do so, as you kind of break out of the forested woodland area and get into the swamp area, all of a sudden you catch, even with this heavy rain that's happening, this foul kind of stench is almost kind of wafting across the ground. It looks like at first you thought maybe it was just because the rain was hitting the spongy ground and kind of causing the mist to kind of rise as it does in steep, but no, this is some kind of filth, smell of burning death
Bodies.
kind of there.
Burning undead bodies.
So if you guys could make a Constitution check for me, that would be great.
Oh dear, it stinks in here.
Uh,
Where'd my character
there we go.
Where is it?
Yeah, mine got buried too.
There it is.
Oh, that shouldn't be me. That should be.
Constitution check, you said?
Yes, please. Or
Check
yeah,
is
save.
Oh, it's save.
A save, yeah, make it a save. So go ahead and
Like,
roll.
how do I make
You did it.
it one
Yeah,
or the
you rolled
other?
the right thing.
Huh.
Roll the right
Why Strider next?
thing. Okay. That was Strider, the last one you just did.
Well, I rolled it a 10 the first time, and then it was 6 the second time. So
Okay. You guys
we
all
all
of a sudden-
missed.
Yeah, all of a sudden, which makes sense, the smell kind of
Retching.
permeates every inch of your body. You can almost feel the grimy coat on your body. And as you guys try very hard to cover your nose and your mouth with anything you have cloth-wise, it almost works its way into your mouth and into your throats, and you can almost taste this disgust. And you all begin to retch. And as you retch, you notice that this black ichor, you actually cough up this black ichor out of your lungs as you use
guess we need to make that.
and you all take 5 points of damage
Wow.
from.
Wow.
Really, you can see as you cough this up, this black ichor inside of you. Almost see looks like maybe skin or something that's kind of in this goo that
What?
your insides start to
We
come
really
down.
failed.
We guess we have to make that push. And does anybody have protection from poison?
I do, so just calm yourself. You're not even on this. Well, you are.
It's not that.
Yes, but it's only for
Dangerous.
one creature. So I guess I can cast it 3 times. Would an hour. Is this considered poison? No?
It is, in fact.
It is. Alright. So I'll do it. Can I cast it 3 times? Let me see. I can. It will be Yes, I will cast this 3 times.
Okay.
On each of us. So in our protection.
Why don't you raise your hand in this, whatever color you'd like.
So, yeah,
Thanks.
it's to neutralize too.
You feel it kind of settle at the top of you, similar to like the spawn did almost. But as it does so, you feel instantly better. It kind of seems to coat you in almost this protective coating. It seems to kind of help alleviate the. Although it's still horrid smelling, it isn't damaging
Yes.
any further.
Okay. Alright, so good. That will last an hour.
All right, good. So you continue on your way through the storm, and sure enough, as you get closer, you see that the halflings are still busy at work, but this cloud of disgust is definitely emanating from these gigantic funeral pyres. You can actually
How is it still burning if it's pouring rain like that?
I don't know, but it is
Oh.
burning. You're
Is-
not sure. You do, upon a little further inspection, notice that it's not a traditional kind of what you'd expect to be either red or yellowish flame. It's more of a blue.
Oh, but,
Oh.
can I roll a can on it? Maybe figure it out.
Certainly can. Anybody who'd like to.
my arcana.
Did it roll?
I'll roll
Yeah,
it
check roll.
anyway.
Let's-
Oh, yeah, I don't have any idea.
You rolled a 1.
I rolled
rolled
a
a-
1. I
You
always
rolled a
roll
1,
so
you got
low.
a 12.
Dude, this stuff I
You
got
rolled
like
a
plus
1.
11.
You got a plus 11. You rolled a 1.
Well, does that why it's red?
It definitely does not look natural in nature. You're not sure what kind of magic, if it's magic or divine or something, but it's definitely not normal. So if this much rain, you'd expect it to be out, but it's still. You also notice that all of the halflings that are kind of up there working have a very familiar looking palm, like fern frond, wrapped around their noses. They look
Oh, is it one of the plants that we took?
looks very similar to the plant that you guys have in the barrel, actually.
Oh, can we make anti-poison?
They have it just in front of their nose.
They're literally wrapped around, and
On their
as you
faces,
you can see
like
that
a
they're
mat.
off with some homemade kind of twine on the back, and the frond is across their entire nose and mouth.
So, Strider wants to make a nature check to see if he can see anything of that species near
Sure.
the burn place or along the walk.
Yep, sure.
And he rolled a 20.
Nice roll. You did not see anything. He is confident that you did not see that specific frond anywhere on your path that you walked.
That's unfortunate. Guess we'll have to look. Maybe we can ask when we get up there.
So it's not a familiar plant. It's that one specifically. Okay, so we're there, right? And they're doing
Yeah.
their thing.
They see
So-
you. They see you guys come back, and a few of them stop. You can see a couple of them scurry off, and then just a couple minutes later, the one that was captured emerges again on top of the plateau.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to talk to him specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I need any fancy business at this point, right?
He looks down
So-
and sees you coming and says, "Lady Light, we do as ask. We not disappoint."
Do I know his name?
Nobody asked.
Oh, my friend. Could you tell me your name, please?
Hey, Drogon.
Drogon. My friend Drogon, I see that you are all very capable and very loyal, and I am very appreciative that you are trustworthy to abide by your word. I do have a slight favor to ask, should there be those willing. We are in need of some additional crew on our ship. If there might be some able-bodied men who can sail, who might be willing to volunteer, who are looking for something more, for some adventure, who might be willing to join us. We have room. We would like to have 6. There are more who volunteer. We would happily oblige them as well. Do you think that this might be something that any of your men might be interested in?
He, as you finish speaking, you can tell that he was concentrating very hard on your speech. Very, very hard. And as you kind of finish, he immediately casts his eyes down towards the ground and says, "No disrespect. We know sail. We know go in water."
So you live by the water, but you don't hunt or fish or sail on the water. Is there a reason for this?
Demons in water. Demons that feed on
Have you seen these demons, or are they tales of demons? Alondo.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
You're not helping.
Don't encourage him.
Yes, I guess it.
Have you seen what it is that you speak of? Or is it tales?
Elders tell of beasts that eat our children and those that venture from home. And we do know this area.
Are there any other tribes of people in the near area who might know how to sail that you might direct me to?
Men to the east.
How
4 days.
4 days.
We have about 12 hours.
Is that our direction? Could we sail there?
We no sail. Walk 4 days.
4 days walk.
The ocean.
Yes, I think.
So it's
Yeah.
well, we could get there in hours. I believe we have to head east to go where we're going.
We could, and I kind of, turn to Alondo and sort of just whisper, like, it doesn't do us any good to have a crew that doesn't know how to sail, so it might benefit us to try the other crew.
As you guys kind of are talking to yourselves, you notice in the back of the crowd, a small crowd is gathered behind Drago, and you can hear that there sounds to be some kind of arguing. And any of you speak half of it?
I'm trying.
You might you hear in the back what sounds to be kind of arguing between maybe a younger voice. And you can hear, "No, I don't care what the stories say. I'm going to move out of my way."
There's something interesting.
Shortly, you see that a younger halfling, a male and a female, walk up. The male has a very short beard. You can tell that the older halflings have a much longer beard. There's a very short beard, and there's a rather large, by halfling standards, female walking up. She's actually carrying, looks like maybe bone, a club of some sort there that's almost her height. She's got slung over her shoulder as she walks up, and he says in halfling, so you don't really understand Isla, but you do, Alondo. "Move out of my way. I'm going to serve this Lady of Light in the way that she wants us to. Be damned our stories and what we've been told. It's all a bunch of lies, anyways." And you hear gasps from the crowd as he seems to challenge things that are happening.
I will turn to Alondo and I will say, Alondo, what is the meaning of this?
Oh, it seems he might have a follower.
Could you translate for me?
I believe that. This wasn't going to go with us.
I point to the one.
Sure.
To us.
Okay. Could you do me the favor and ask their names?
Yes, I mean, can I speak common?
They walk up, and as you guys are kind of discussing that, you notice that the younger one actually elbows Dragos and sends him to the side a bit, and he gives him a look of death. And he kneels down. He doesn't go prone. He kneels down, and the woman inside kneels down as well. They both throw an arm across their chest and bow to you, Isla. Say,
Do they?
will come.
Oh. In common or in common?
Yes.
In common. Okay. I will walk up to them, and I will place my hands on their shoulders, and I will say, "Arise, brave ones. Please do tell me your names."
He looks to her, and you can see he almost takes some deference to her a little bit, and then she says, "My name is Elin, and this is Ivan."
And I greet them in Halfling too.
Yep. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Elin and Ivan. So that we are all clear, do you know how to sail?
And they both cast their eyes down a bit.
Are you willing to learn?
We will do as you wish,
Okay.
lady.
Now, the way is not always clear. It is possible we might encounter some treacherous waters. But I will have you know that I am a servant of the goddess Umberly of the seas. So I will do whatever is within my power to protect my friends. Can I consider you my friends?
Yes, lady.
Strider kind of looks over at Isla with a really deep vision. Like he has a lot of respect for her right now, and so he's gonna think back to the first day that he saw her on the boat when he was running on the water, and he's just gonna look at her and speak in Elvish
Well done.
Oh,
and try to flirt with her again like he did the first day he saw her.
I haven't seen that.
I'll speak back and I'll just say, I've got moves you've never seen. Right? So, okay, so I will,
For some reason, I just think Strider would just totally blow this shit and say I'm the captain because he's Mr. like 8 charisma or some shit.
But yeah.
yeah, I don't need his charisma right now.
Or mine.
Well, you know, I mean, it
Or
only helps to
whispers.
have pretend wings, right? So, alright, so I will look up from these two. I will say,
Make a persuasion check, by the way, after your speech.
Alright, okay, where was my I have
After that rousing speech, you actually notice that 8 more.
8 more.
And they all seem to be quite a bit younger in comparison to the crowd, but they all move forward, and it's evenly split. Looks like men and women.
Excellent.
But they all move forward, and they all take the knee as well.
Oh, excellent. So I will look through, right, and I will ask Alondo to speak to them in their language, right? Ask if they speak common.
I mean, yes, I do.
He mindful. And then if they do, right, I will ask them their names. And then I will speak their names. I will step back and I will speak their names aloud so the whole crowd can hear. While I understand that you may not be trained in the ways of the Sissis, but your bravery shows that you are willing to learn and you are willing to put past fears aside. And, and I honor you for that, and I appreciate you volunteering, but, also know that the way is not always clear. That I will do what is in my power to protect those that I can call friend. So if you have the heart and you have the honor, then I would be honored to have you as part of the crew if you are able to take direction and learn how to do it properly.
They all seem to respond well to that, seem to puff up their chest a little bit, have a little more pride than they were before. You can tell that probably within the society that there's the typical hierarchy and that they take deference to the old. You can see maybe for the first time for some of them, they're a little prouder.
Do I notice anything between the dynamics between the women and the men?
Other than kind of what you've already seen, so you definitely see that the men all take deference, all immediately look to the women for any decision making or any look to take the lead on things.
Okay.
In every case, you didn't see any that were opposites at all.
Okay, so I would like to sort of gather the women together in a place just off to the side, but not rudely, right?
Okay.
While I'm getting to know them all and write their names and whatnot. So I will just sort of direct the men, right? Because it's Strider's boat.
Mm-hmm.
Direct the men to Strider, because they would think, okay, the men are going to do it right. Direct the men to him so that he can start giving them direction as to what is needed to be crew members,
Yep.
right? And I will just sort of speak softly to the women and say, my friends, sometimes our men need a little extra direction. And I appreciate that you have the bravery to not just take upon this new adventure, but also knowing that women might need additional supports. So I greatly appreciate you honoring me with your trust, and I hope that we can all work together to help make this crew better than they are without us.
Elin says, she seems to be kind of the voice of the group. She says, we believe you, but will not follow you blindly like simple men. But they will do what we say, and until proven otherwise, we will do as you ask as well.
So there was 10 total?
10 total, yep.
And
All right, I'll tell them
pairs?
I appreciate that, and I
They're all
hope
paired.
to earn your trust and to live up to the words that I say to you. I don't say them. They're not empty promises. hope to gain your trust in the future if I have your loyalty to care for the ship and be part of the crew committedly.
Can't
Before
wait to see what Strider
Strider's-
does to the crew.
as Strider's talking to the gentleman, he wants to know if there's if anybody has any of those plants that they can put across their face because we got sick across the way. How are you not getting sick?
Says, one of the men says, "We grow."
Do you have any more for the walk back to our boat?
Get.
Yeah.
He says something to one of the crew that Strider doesn't understand, and one of the people in the crowd run off.
So
Come back with about a dozen of these fronds as well, and they hand them out to you guys to strap on your faces.
do I hear this conversation while I'm talking over to the ladies? I'm not.
You're kind of far enough away that you're not really able to make it out. What you can make out is Strider saying, "Take everything. We're taking everything with us. Everything you can carry, we're taking back to the boat. We gotta re-equip everything we've got. We're taking it. Nothing. We're leaving it."
He was gonna leave the clubs and the spike shields and half of the javelins. So for them, since we're taking some of their youngsters.
So yeah, I will ask the ladies since I see that you guys are being brought things and I hear Strider yelling about getting crap. I'll ask the ladies, are there supplies that we're going to need? Do you have, healing supplies or, it's going to be a different environment, right? So what if they all get seasick right away? Do they have medicinal supplies or foodstuffs that they eat specifically, right? What is in their diet? To tell, yes.
That says, men handle food.
Alright, because the women just sit back and do what I'm saying.
Alright.
Alright, okay, well, let's give them the option to be.
Then Strider will kind of, as we're walking back, he'll kind of explain the rest of the crew and how they're going to be similar to the beast folk who we're burying.
Okay.
But they're very loyal. They'll fight alongside you, and they're very good at what they do, and you'll learn a lot from them.
Yes, as long as you are
And
teachable.
I'll let them know that Strider is the captain of the big ship. Just to puff them up. Big ship's mine.
Yeah, you would totally do that.
Yes, so I will tell the ladies too, right, that Strider is the captain of the ship that we're going to be on. However, if they...
You say that most of them cock their head like there's a man that's in charge of the ship. All right.
Yes, well, and I just sort of give them the side eye and I say, well, we work with what we have.
He went into a poker game. I mean, come on.
I know, but I just say, I'm the only woman, right? We work with what we have. So,
Elon says, "We follow you, lady. We will do as you ask, but it's your word that we follow."
okay, so I have 10 followers. Strider's just gonna have to suck it up.
10 accolades.
Alright,
Oh,
they
man.
better learn how to frickin' sail.
We shall see.
They
All right, so
become
just
your
for the sake of
accolades.
time, we'll say that they break off and start collecting goods, and each one of them seems to have a small pack. The men are much more heavily laden than the women, who are heavily laden but not with goods. You can tell that they all have a full assortment of javelins, similar to what Elin was carrying. It seems that they all have a pack of javelins and it's some sort of a melee weapon, whether it be axe or club or something of that nature. Seems to be all two-handed. You haven't seen a single shield, which is interesting.
got some
Halfling
fun.
boarding crew, baby.
They form up on your direction. And anything else you guys want to do before you
Barbarians, too.
start heading back?
And
I will, I don't know, stand proudly in front of the women with their weapons and
Okay.
just look at them with pride and approval.
Closer inspection of their armor, by the way, as they walk by, you notice that quite a few of them, of the women specifically, what you thought was hide actually looks like might be lizard skin, lizard man skin, or some sort of thick lizard skin in general. It's as you kind of walk past and brush by, it's almost slick to the touch, but seems to be very, very heavy.
Cool. Actually, as they're walking back to the beach, Strider's gonna try to see if he can detect any dragons
Okay.
within 5 miles to make sure that Opeta's still
good idea.
out of the way.
1 second.
Where is it?
That's probably sure.
It's like finding well.
She's probably
Umberly better be keeping her ass busy.
she's probably dead. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Umberly's using her to like raid a village or something, or send a big tidal wave to.
He does not detect any dragons.
Okay. That good. That is good. All right.
Very good. So you head back to the beach. We'll scoot over to Owen and Whisper and Strider, and that's it. You guys, just you two. So, Shalrog says,
Oh, hello, show up.
"Shall we head back?
I missed that. What he said?
Shall we head back to the boat? The Dictor sees it's going to take us a bit to get out there."
Yes, what about the captain?
Well, you're not there
yeah,
yet.
okay.
You're walking back. Yeah, you have the corpse thing there, so.
Yeah, let's see what they do with this thing.
Indeed. So you,
And Owen's gonna, shuffle his necklaces around and
Yes.
say a prayer on the way out to the dinghy.
That makes complete sense. Yes. So you get the corpse in the boat. The dagger is standing perfectly straight up, perpendicular to the body as you toss it in as well, and you get aboard. And, it's you two, the body, Shalrog, and 2 of the beast folk, all that can fit in this. You'll make another trip to get the rest
Okay.
of the 4 that are there.
Owen will do the back and forth, getting everybody back. And then once we get to the ship, Owen will take the lead in getting the ship ready, and then I'm gonna go to the beast folk and lead them in a prayer for the ones that were lost on the beach,
Okay.
just to keep the relationship that I built with them.
Good idea. You can give yourself inspiration for that. Go ahead and roll. We'll just say you guys make it without too much issue. It does take some time. You have to time it, obviously, to make sure that you're heading properly into the waves so they're not breaking over the side and all that fun stuff. But
Do you want to do like a navigation or the water?
You guys, we're going to say that because you've got all the time in the world that you guys know how to do it with your backgrounds, so you make it out there, no problem. But go ahead and make a persuasion check with the beast folk just to see how they react to all that. We'll even say with advantage since you already have a relationship.
All right.
All right.
That might be better.
I can do it for you.
Good thing. Good thing.
What's your negative?
Yeah, it works out well. You can tell that they're definitely sad. They deeply respect that you've taken the time to do that. You kind of got the impression on the as you approached the beach without anybody else that there was a little not quite animosity, but definitely some severe caution starting to build around maybe this is no better than what we had before, kind of a situation. But you taking the time to do that is really kind of put them at ease, and you can see, although there's deep sadness there, they're not. They're back to listening and
I'll make sure that I let them know that I'll do whatever I can to get them back to where their free folk are.
Okay.
We really just have one more stop to make.
Okay.
It's in everybody's best interest.
They seem to appreciate that. That you can tell that they struggle with understanding exactly what you're saying, but they seem to get the gist of it. All right. So what do you guys do with the body?
Let's bring it to the captain. Am I there? Or?
Yeah, we're just gonna say you guys may get back.
Oh, everybody gets back.
I mean, you guys can tell me what you do with it. We'll just say you leave it on the deck until everybody gets back, and it's now nightfall.
Yeah.
We're gonna say it's about 9 o'clock at night. By the time you guys get back,
Can't have
kind of
everyone on the
I'd like to.
you can do
On the
whatever
way
you
back.
at night.
I'd like to be on the way back to have a conversation with Strider to sort of set the expectations, right? That while he is the captain of the ship, these crew members seem to be particularly attached to me. I will do all that is in my power for the good of the whole. But don't think for 1 second that I won't take them and leave you without enough crew. If you decide to be selfish and try to do something that's only good for you,
Strider says that.
it's here, friend, and I expect them to be trained properly so that we can all survive this excursion.
Strider says, I understand. We'll get back. Why don't you take your crew and pilot the other boat then? I'll take the beast folk and the rest on my boat. That way there's no problems.
No, because they need to be trained, right?
Oh, we'll send Owen or someone over there. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to train them. But
Yeah, sure, I'll do it.
I don't want there to be any issue.
Yeah. Whisper and Owen will go and work with the halflings just to get the little boat.
I just want them to be
and
properly
Strider.
trained because the large.
Whoa. One of you needs to stay here and pilot my boat. You guys are the only sailors we've got. I might be in charge, but I'm not a sailor.
Yeah, you have Shaw Rock, bro.
Well, perhaps it's time for you to learn too.
I don't know. It's pretty hard work. I don't know if I want to do.
We'll make it into Squall Haven with what we have, and then we can decide what we're gonna do.
All right.
Bruce.
We'll see if people
Sure.
stop getting murdered on your boat.
Then the groups can cross train when we're at Squall Haven.
I don't know that I want to freak them out right away on their very first time on a boat ever,
No,
with a haunted boat that might be taking a dead body
No,
away or
that's-
some kind of garbage.
that's why we're gonna camp off the boat once we drop that guy on the boat.
Okay. So you guys
So
get back to the boat.
We can have like our group can get the tags and be on the boat to observe what happens, and we'll have everybody else camp.
Okay, so that's what you do. So you move everybody else to the other boat, the slavers. The slaver ship, which, by the way, you guys never have really kind of taken a look at it. There wasn't really no markings. You knew it was the slaver ship, but as you kind of have now had time to kind of work your way through, that you notice periodically throughout the boat that there seems to be a Roman numeral 5 carved into the boat in periodic spots. Maybe as an identifier of some sort, but there's nothing on the back of the boat like you would normally see. But there are definitely some indicators that numeral 5 on this boat. So what you
Can I
can
do a religion check or something to see if it's like a superstition or
Sure.
something?
Yep, absolutely. It's nothing you've ever heard of if it is some sort of superstition, and it's definitely not a religious symbol that's anything you've ever encountered before anyways.
Can Whisper make a history check to see if
Yep.
he's heard of anything like this happening?
Absolutely. You're pretty confident that it's some sort of an indicator, probably an internal indicator of what ship's on there, and that you have heard before that the people that kind of want to keep the name or the identity of a vessel secret, they won't work them externally, but they'll put some sort of internal indicator for the people that are there, so they know they're on the right boat. Ultimately, when you have multiple of the same vessel in a fleet, that's what they tend to do. So.
Okay. All right.
Plus, we need to know who has the armbands and who doesn't, if that still applies.
Maybe, yeah. So, obviously, I'm assuming you take the corpse to the Golden Harpy, and you move. So you guys move the rest of the crew, all the members, to the other ship, to the slaver ship, to 5, we'll say, and then you guys take the armbands and head back to work. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's best.
Okay. Very good. So you do so.
I
and-
think I would stay with my new crew members.
Okay.
At least the first time. I can see what's happening, right? So
Yeah,
they've
you're
got
not
the
far apart. I
armbands
mean, you guys
and
are-
whatnot.
You guys are anchored as closely together as is safe in this weather, which is a couple hundred yards, but you can definitely still see, what's going on in the deck and
I
what's
think
there.
we
So.
need the
Well, I'm close enough, right? I feel like I should reinforce that they aren't giving me their support
Yeah, you get
foolishly.
Yeah, once you can definitely tell that once you get the half of the boat, there's definitely some serious apprehension about what's going on. More readily apparent with the men than the women. They're not quite cowering, but they're very, very concerned. The women are putting on a brave face, you can tell, but it's not a comfortable situation. So you and their presence is definitely helping. There's no doubt about that.
All right.
Well, we'll have Owen on the ship with Isla then too.
Okay.
And then we'll have Shalrog with us.
No problem. So anything you guys do? You say you're going to camp out. How long are you going to wait?
But I guess the camp out's not working then if she has her crew on the boat. I thought we'd have the crews stay on land during the storm and then we'd just be on the boat watching to see what happened with the body.
I
But
see.
apparently,
I misunderstood that. So if that's what you
well,
like,
so did I. That's
yeah.
so there's.
You can do it however you like. I just thought you were all coming to the boat. But if you want to keep the others on land, that's
Well,
fine.
yeah. I mean, if you're all willing, if we can camp, if it's dry enough, right, where we can have some shelter. I think that perhaps the first day that they step foot on a boat should be during a hurricane.
Okay.
And if we're waiting for the ghosts to take the bodies, right? I don't know that I really want them being there to experience that either. They're not gonna want to get on that boat. So, but
That's fine.
we can start them on like the slaver ship. I think that would be reasonable if
But-
they get spooked by something happening on the other one.
in the morning though, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So,
fine. So
we
we'll
can
see. Well,
we can kind of explain to the crews that we were going to deal with something in the Harpy during the
Well, and
evening.
they know.
We'll meet them in the morning.
They know what's going on with the Harpy, right? So they're aware.
Dave does, yeah.
they're fine. Yeah, they're all fine with it. And actually, because of the interaction you had with them, Whisper, they actually helped The halflings kind of build shelters too, so they kind of all put together kind of makeshift shelters. You kind of pull back at the tree line a bit and are able to stay mostly out of the weather. It's not, comfortable, but it's not, going to be completely miserable either. They
can kind of reinforce the camps that's already there.
Right, exactly. So they're able to kind of get makeshift there and get things buttoned up. So we'll say you guys make it back to the boat. So you get there, and then how long you guys wait till what? How long do you guys wait on board the boat then? We'll say you get there after setting everything up. Let's say it's 11.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
We're going to take the body in the captain's quarters. Is that what you said, Orlando?
Well, the room, the map room.
Oh, where the
Yes.
knife was.
Okay. You bring the body into the map room and set it on the table. Pretty much as soon as the body makes contact with the table, you start to the feeling in the room changes. All of a sudden, everybody starts to feel cold, and you're not sure if it's just because you're kind of you're out of the harm's way as much as possible. So maybe it's adrenaline coming back down from everything that's been happening. You start to look down at the body, and all of a sudden you see the black eye color that was kind of coating everything on the inside of this piece of old sail that was wrapped in the body starts to, all of a sudden, the stain starts to lessen, and you start to see it becoming less and less and less, and then all of a sudden the stain is gone altogether, and all of a sudden you hear a gasp.
Oh, shit.
And as that happens, the sail falls away, and you see that what was once kind of a gaunt, drawn, range almost warlike monster, the captain that you saw before, he looks almost a spitting image of what you saw in your vision originally. His color has returned to his body. He's back to full size. You can see he's a pretty rotund man, actually, in comparison to what you saw before. And he sits up and he says, "Where am I? What is happening?" He looks around and sees all of you. And as you do so, you see ghostly apparitions start to appear all around you. And he says,
Do they affect us at all?
"What is this?" You guys actually are in a place that you can actually feel them. Some of them walk directly through you, which is the most disturbing feeling you've ever felt in your life. You actually stagger. Some of you put your hands on the wall to kind of keep yourself upright as it happens. But they walk right through you and get right on top of the table and all start to lean over top of Captain Nate McCall. And he says, "What is going on? What is this? What is happening right now? Who is?" And he seems to lock eyes with the spirit that you guys recognize was the one that came to you originally. And he says, "Bertram? Is that you, Bertram? It can't be. It's what has happened?" And all of a sudden you hear the apparition say, "It's time to pay, McCall." And you see him pull back. No, I left you. It's not. I didn't mean to. You have to understand. They were going to kill me as well. And all of a sudden he's taken, and he's just lifted for where he's at. And the apparitions have him by the arms, and as struggle as he might, there's nothing that he can do. He's flailing, and all of a sudden the door to the chamber whips open out of its own accord, and he's dragged out by. You see his feet dragged out. No, please don't!
It's a very ghost-like scene.
Standing in this room up to now as you hear his voice trail off.
I'm gonna chase
Yeah,
it.
we'll follow.
You walk out in the hallway and you see this mass, which clearly are individual spirits who are so close together that it's difficult to make out the individual shapes. But you see Nate McCall flailing wildly, trying to do this. Get off of me! You can't do this to me! Don't you know who I am? And as you follow, they take him up to the deck. And you can hear vaguely as you kind of wake up there, "Now, Nate, you'll pay for all you've done." And he's still yelling. And as it happens, you see a ghostly, what appears to be hangsman noose drop from one of the actual masts of the ship. It comes unfurling down. It appears to be translucent, but the ghosts grab it, drop it around his neck, and what would be translucent fixed quickly and ties it. And you see all of a sudden he's yanked up quickly.
Can we see this from the slaver ship?
Yes, absolutely.
So I don't want people to be freaked out about it, right? So I'm
Who's
going
on
to.
the slaver ship now? Because your crew is, or the people
My
are
crew-
still on shore. So
So
Yeah,
we're not
you're-
on the ship at all.
You're on the boat with us.
We're on the
you're on
ship.
you're on the boat. They're camped on shores.
The crews
So-
the crews are camping on the ground, and then the 5 of us are.
And are they inside like their tents and things? 'Cause
You're not sure. You do know from where you're at the beach that it's a ways out. It
Put
would be
me on
right
the
now.
boat.
What's
Well,
that?
if you didn't want to be there,
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could be with your crew on shore, but you were only going to be with your crew on the boat for
Yeah, well, I
security.
feel like I suspected, like, right, this is what we wanted for the spirits to take the
Yeah.
guy and figure it out. So I don't want them to be panicky, right? Because I'm
Yep.
trying to have a crew that is actually going to be able to serve on a ship in the sea.
Sure.
So I think I would be there to make sure that they don't get distracted by the commotion.
Okay.
To like keep them in their tents, or I will cast some thaumaturgy around me and just do sort of like a golden glow about me, so that if anyone tries to come out of their tents, then I'll just be there to greet them and say, "All is well, return to your slumber."
Story.
Okay. That works. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so you can, from your vantage point on the beach, you can make out a little bit of what's happening on the boat. It's a long ways off. What you can basically see now is that there's some sort of a white mass. It's got a slight glow to it. It's kind of has emerged on the deck. You can barely, over the sound of the storms, make out the sound of what appears to sounds to be a man pleading for his life, maybe.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you see this man being hoisted up in the air. Ultimately.
Yeah.
So you can kind of make it out a little bit.
So I'm kind of hopeful that that's on purpose and it's not one of the people that I know.
Right, sure. But yeah, so the ex-captain is yanked up into the air, and you see him up there. He's flailing his arms and his legs. You hear him strangling to death. And the feet finally stop kicking. And as the feet stop kicking, you see the noose release and the body drop. Hits the deck right there. It shakes so badly. I mean, it's 100+ pounds at the deck in one spot. And although it doesn't break the decking, it's definitely a large impact. You can see that not only is the neck broken based from the rope that was there, but there's some arms and legs that have been strained there as it's laying on the ground.
Right.
And the ghostly apparitions all crowd over the top of this form. And as they do so, you hear... And the ex-captain sits up again and says, What is the meaning of this going on?
Oh, is it just going to be perpetual
It
murder
says-
of him?
And the same ghostly apparition you met before says, We're not done with you yet, McCall.
Eternity of being hung every night multiple times.
And as that happens, you notice all of a sudden, Aiden McCall, another rope is thrown across him. It's thrown across his body around the middle, and the rope is thrown over the side of the boat with some sort of heavy weight, and he's yanked over the side of the boat with his body. splashes into the water. And as that happens, you see some of the ghostly apparitions are now on the other side of the deck with another piece of rope, and they're yanking this rope as fast as they can. And as that happens, you hear scraping that's around the side of the boat as Nate McCall's body is dragged up the side of the boat and onto the deck again, only to be repeated again, thrown over the side. And he's being keel-hauled around the entire boat.
Wow.
This seems to go on for about a half a dozen times before his body is then laid to rest again on the actual deck. You can tell that his skin has just been scraped off his body in three spots. His eyes hanging out of sockets, clearly dead, laying there on the deck.
Do any of these ghosts resemble McCall at this point?
Resemble McCall? No.
Like his body, the damage done?
You make a perception check.
That'll do.
You don't see anybody that resembles him or looks to be.
Well, I meant like with the damage that's being done, what they're doing to McCall's body.
You see anybody that they may have had that same damage?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You can see definitely that there are quite a few crew members with their necks that have been snapped. There's definitely some that looks like they've exactly been keel-hauled because their entire faces are torn off. So there's definitely clear damage that mirrors what's being done.
Delightful.
Oh, how many people are there? How long does it go?
Quick count looks like about 30. So.
All right, it's going to be a long night, folks. I'll sit here glowing on the land and bring my little people.
So the next thing that happens, we'll just
Like
through the rest of it. He goes through various forms of execution. He actually is tied to the mast and shot. He slit his throat. Just simply slit his throat. Make him walk the plank. And then probably the most creative one is they seem to a maritime version of draw and quarter him, where they tie his legs to the winch of the mast of the ship and let it loose, and it tears him in half essentially.
Yep. There's the anchor, bro.
I'm writing this all down in my journal, of course. The scary stories.
Yeah, you all are a little, although you know what's happened with this man, what he's done and what he attempted to do to you, you're all a little sickened by the entire thing, and hope to never cross what's happened. Eventually, it seems to come to an end. The corpse.
Right around 2 a.m., right?
Exactly, actually. Comes around, and the last death here actually is burned alive. He's literally doused in some sort of oil and burned alive where he's at. And as the corpse is kind of laying there smoldering, you at last see Nate McCall's spirit rise of this husk of what remains. And he is immediately clamped onto by the other spirits. He says, "Enough! I'll give you whatever you want, just no more. I can't take it." And the other spirit says, "You're getting over with what you did to us. Now the real pain begins." He says, "No!" And they pull him, and you see that the spirits just slowly melt into the deck as he reaches for each one of you as he's pulled in. And he vanishes altogether.
And so I run back downstairs to look for the dagger and see if it's still moving.
Okay. You start sprinting off, and as you do so with your high perception, you notice out of the corner of your eye that one spirit rises back onto the deck.
I'll slow up.
I'll go down there too.
Slow. Alright, you head that direction too. You see that right where Dave McCall and all the other spirits melt into the deck, another spirit rises kind of within your midst. And as he does so, you notice in his hand floats a spectral, which appears to be a dagger, in his hand. And he says, "You've done as we've asked and set us free. We can never repay you for such. But take this as a small token." He raises out his hand and the dagger floats from his hand and floats over to the closest one of you. It doesn't matter. Probably was pretty obvious. And as you kind of put your hand out, or what do you do?
Yeah, that was.
Put your hand out, and as you do so, the dagger slowly starts to solidify. It lands in your hand, and as you do so, you notice that it's made of, looks like a smoky glass. And he says, "Although we can never repay what you've done, call on us once in your greatest time of need, and we'll return."
Wow.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to set you free.
Thank you again. And may your souls never deal with the turmoil we have.
No, I hope not.
And he dissipates.
That's cool.
Does anything happen to any of the pieces of the flag that anybody's wearing?
No, nothing happens with that. But as you guys as he slowly dissipates into absolutely nothing, you all of a sudden start to notice that something is happening. And you look around the boat, and what was extremely dingy and kind of complete disrepair, even though your best attempts at kind of repairing this vessel were a patchwork at best, you notice that the boat all of a sudden starts to almost reform.
Interesting.
The boat heals itself?
You see decking that was worn and kind of broken that starts to almost heal itself. And the spots that you saw that were kind of out of the way, that definitely had kind of a tarnish and some kind of unweared kind of look to them, all of a sudden all of this decking becomes almost flat black and almost repairs. And as you watch it, it kind of cascades from where the spirit kind of melted into the deck and starts to just kind of roll out in all directions, slow, kind of repairing everything that's in place. It works its way up the mast, and as it gets to these sails, they take on this almost translucent gold kind of effect, and in the center of the flag, almost embossed gold on gold harpy head that kind of appears in the center of the two masts, two sails that are up top. And as you look around, it's almost as if the ship was just built with the condition that it stands in now.
Strider is just like open mouths, like
He's literally probably just like pleasuring himself on the back of it.
he looks at him and is like, hey old man, do you want to make an Arcana check or something? And is something magical happening in this fucking boat?
Yes, of course. There's no point. No way. It's all magic.
This is amazing.
It is.
And we're not gonna die. We're not gonna die.
I don't know about that.
From the beach, Ayla, you notice you've heard screams for hours now, right? You're almost numb to it at this point. You've heard so much of it. But the last thing that you see appears to be almost like an inferno on the deck, which fire on a boat is never a good thing. So it kind of draws your attention a bit, and you see all of a sudden this glow that was there on deck all of a sudden dissipates. It seems to just kind of vanish. And then all of a sudden you see the ship basically transform. You see this boat becomes black in color itself, and then all of a sudden these translucent golden sails appear. Although it's very late at night, you see a shimmer off the sail to me for a moment before it kind of vanishes. Something happened.
So I'm guessing that I can, like, probably see the sails glowing and whatnot and stuff from where I'm at.
Well, they don't actually have a glow once whatever happened stops. So you only saw them briefly, kind of for a microsecond there. But you can definitely tell something is happening.
Something is
It's the
happening.
middle of the night, so there's no reflection on the sails.
And it's still storming.
It is, yes.
So I'm just gonna go with, hey, I saw a body floating and now the sails glowed, and I hope that that was the end of it.
Yeah.
Oh, who wants to test sleeping without a flag?
Strider rolls his boat.
Yeah, right?
Strider decided to sleep off the
He's-
boat.
He's reckless. He's not leaving that boat. He's leaving that boat alone.
That's what the captain should do, right? He just learned what happens to the captain if you don't take care of your crew. Right?
Awesome. So Strider rips off the armband. He throws it on the deck. He's we're done with that. I'm gonna be in my quarters. If anybody needs me, figure it out. He goes back to his quarters.
We know what he's doing.
Exactly. So guys, what do you do now?
We head back towards Smoking, right?
Well, we need a long rest.
So, we can rest on the ship.
You certainly can.
We get everybody together in the morning and
Right, we'll say you kind of, the rest of the night passes pretty uneventfully, and nothing happens to Strider. He doesn't come running up on deck and dive off or anything like that. So
sweet.
it seems that he may be, in fact, was right, that everything's done.
Oh,
So, yeah,
From our last estimate, it'd be what 15 hours of sailing to Squallhaven from here.
that means we can
Something like
back on
that?
the ship.
Yeah.
it's definitely a good guess.
It's like 3 days travel or something. And then
Oh no, we're much closer than
Oh.
that.
Not
We're
from now.
we're within less than
Oh.
a day.
Yeah, from where you were, it was definitely that far. But no, now you're within a day for sure. You know that for a
Yeah.
fact.
Just Squallhaven, and then we know where the secondary base for the Minotaurs are if we ever want to fuck their shit up again too. At least Isla knows where it is.
She does. She's been there. She's the only one. But
Yeah.
so yeah, we'll say day breaks, and it's as if things have started anew. It's a beautiful morning.
I'm gonna send a message to Thorin. First
Okay,
thing. I
you
mean,
send.
how long till we get there?
You're gonna guess from here. It's the better part of a day, full day. What Whisper said's probably pretty close. You're probably between 15 and 18 hours to get there by sailing. So
All right.
Thorin, we should be there in no time. Expect us in what, 12 hours or something?
yeah, 15 to 18
15,
hours.
18.
15 to 18 hours. We decoursed the ship, were captured by Minotaurs, enslaved. We killed a bunch of Minotaurs, and this big dragon turtle tried to kill us all. I think that's about it, but we should be there with some reinforcements soon. Love, Alando.
He only gets half of that done.
Right, yeah. You get a response back. I don't give a bloody fuck what you guys have been doing. Bring your asses back here. You guys have left me out here to rot myself. You know what's going on? This is unbelievable. Get back here. Get to that dock I said north of town. We gotta get here. I need your help now.
Oh, he said, step on it. and you can't wait to see us.
Is that Stefan?
Yeah, there's no step on it. Yeah.
He said, full sailors ahead.
Guess we better get this crew trained up, eh?
Yeah. Isla, is there anything that you can do to help us go a little bit faster?
Oh, I don't know. I can't really like control gale force winds or anything. I suppose I could say a prayer.
Can you control water or anything?
No. No, I can say a prayer to my goddess for safe and swift passage. I will do that. I will take some time to do little ritualistic something or other that I would normally do, right? Sprinkle some ocean water on some symbol that I've made or something like that, right? I'll just flick some ocean water and blow on it and say a prayer for a swift wind and a safe passage to our destination.
Sounds good.
All right, and then we'll take both ships. So I'll go with Isla on the smaller ship and kind of captain that, and then
That's
kind
the
of
slaver ship, right?
yeah, and kind of give.
I can
everybody,
learn to understand you much better if I
rudimentary rundowns and what we're doing.
So
So we
I'll
might-
I'll
We
direct.
might be a little slower than the other ship, but
My little
we'll have-
halflings.
we'll
to
have
follow
time
the
to
direction.
train in basics.
Mhm.
Yeah, you've got, like I said, the better part of a day before you'll get there.
Yeah. And then they can do drills with the beast folk when we're docked.
Yeah, I'm just gonna assume you guys are gonna take the first part of it and probably do a long rest, right?
I can
yeah.
learn to
So
understand
Can
you.
I talk to Whisper and say that it might be beneficial to partner up the halflings with the based folk? You know, since you can't be everywhere at once, give them a direction and then partner them with the based folk so that the based folk can be teaching them on their position.
Oh well, we could tow the other ship then. And it might just slow us down a little bit, but then we'd be able to do double crew and they'd be able to learn at the same time.
Hey, you guys
Yeah.
can make a navigation check to see how much you think it would slow things down if you like. And
Alright.
you will just say with you and Owen can help each other. So
Oh, it's Owen. It's not Whisper.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it with advantage.
I will ask him to do that, right? Because I'm still.
19.
That'll work. Yeah, you think that'll probably add maybe another 4 or 5 hours onto your trip if you tow the boat.
Yeah,
So,
that's fine. Well, that's the way we'll do it.
okay,
It's better for us overall.
fair enough.
Yeah, so then the next time we go out, they'll be ready to be on their own, maybe.
On the way, anyway.
Well, I mean, enough.
They'll need a
for the
10 day
next
to
time
get
we
the.
go out,
Yeah.
we can at least split them up or something. But
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't sound like any of the 10 are going to be on a ship that I'm not on. So
All right, so you guys head off with the brand spanking shiny new Golden Harpy, and in the daylight, it's even more spectacular than what you thought in the middle of the night.
So, after, this first part of the day or whatever, can I don't know, should I do like a perception check or something on my 10 folks to see, like, check in and see how they're feeling? Are they impressed by seeing the
You can do an
Harpy
insight
brand
check.
new, or
Yeah.
what is it?
Insight check.
To see how they're doing.
Sure. You get a general feeling overall that there's some nervous energy and some excitement, but you're not getting anything specific.
As long as nobody is regretting their choice already.
There are a couple of the men who you can definitely tell are not regretting it, but very cautious.
Are they looking green?
Yeah, well, there's a couple that were sick. Maybe not currently sick, but are less capacity than they should have.
I would like to tend to those people a little.
Okay. Sure. What do you want to do?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I mean, are they sick to the point of they're incurring
Nobody's incapacitated, like they're laying on the
damage,
deck.
or
But you
they're
can, no, definitely not that kind of sick. But you can tell that they're definitely kind of, as they call it, green around the gills and still functional, but they're just not.
I mean, I'm going to make an assumption that we have some kind of anti-nauseal something on the ship, right? Wouldn't that be a normal thing? We have.
You talk to Shalrog, because he's the one that's the most seasoned.
Yeah, the med kit. Who's got the med kit, right? Or at least I can create food or drink.
Okay. You can.
Right, so I'll make like a ginger tea.
You have spells.
He says,
for him.
He says, no disrespect, lady, but these are sailors. The best remedy for seasickness is more work.
Yeah.
Put them to work, lady.
So I'm going to create some ginger tea, and maybe like some dry crackers, and give them to the people that are not feeling well.
They're loving it. They've never had ginger tea ever, and they all very appreciative of it. So it seems to maybe help a bit.
Racking up those morale points.
All right.
Well, you got to keep them alive, right?
But
you do notice if you do that, a couple of the women actually kind of give you a sidelong glance. And if you want to roll, I'll let you roll another insight check, even though you kind of suck at that one, just to see what
If
they're
they're
thinking.
jealous.
Whisper wants to do that too.
Yeah, I have a +7.
You can just help each other.
Something's gotta
That's fine. That's good.
give.
That's good enough. You guys figured it out. You kind of get the sense that a couple of them are maybe almost a little bit of jealousy from that, and a couple of them you get almost like a, why are you tending to the insects, spending so much time on these lesser beings from them. So
now you have to do another knitter circle and let them know.
I'll offer some ginger tea to the ladies as well.
They take it. They'll drink it. Yep, absolutely.
And I'll just say, just in case your stomachs start to turn in the new environment on the ship, or whatever. And I'll just say, please don't hesitate to let me know if you start to feel under the weather. I know you are all very strong and brave, but there is no shame in adjusting to your environment a bit more comfortably.
Okay, they all nod.
And as we're going through the emotions and things, I'll chat with the halflings as well, and let them know, tell them about the possibilities of sea battle and boarding crews, and see if that gets them excited, and kind of show them what their roles would be and how to defend and implement some kinds maneuvers and do some drills and things.
Yeah,
so you're Owen, right?
Well, Owen could do that too. He can help me do that too.
So are you on? Well, what ship are you on?
We're all on the big ship.
Yeah, you guys are all on the Harpy.
We're towing the slaver ship.
So if you're going to say that, I will direct specifically to the women. I will make a show of directing you to talk to the women specifically for any battles.
Yep.
That makes sense. Yeah, you guys had spent enough time with them now to you were understanding kind of how their society works a little bit. So I don't think anybody would make that.
I'm asking them a lot of questions, like writing down their stories and their lore and stuff like that. In fact, if they do story time every day, I'm encouraging them to do that, whatever their normal time is. Okay. Yeah. If they can.
Elon, who's this kind of you can tell is kind of has emerged as kind of the spokesperson or the pseudo leader for for the group. She directs you to her, who she informs you is her mate, Ivan, and says that the men of our, and she says it's in Halfling, so it's not broken. She says the men of our clan are the ones that keep the stories and keep the lore. He'd be more than happy to spend the time with you, I'm sure. He's constantly trying to get me to listen to that rubbish.
Okay.
Kind of like these ladies.
So yeah, they kind of go through their obviously oral history. He doesn't have everything written formally, but tells you about the stories that have been passed down through the ages of their group and as far back as he knows. And it seems that kind of the earliest kind of stories or memories that they have is that they were once a tribe of halflings that were nomadic, and they traveled across the lands, kind of populating as they went, and that there were different types of these halfling tribes. That some lived in the forest, and some lived in the swamp, and some ultimately supposedly were seafarers. But the clan that they belong to has not moved from their area in 10 generations. So they've been there for a very long time. They're no longer nomadic now. They're purely hunters and gatherers, and have a pretty large group actually. From talking to them, it looks like the population in that area there is about 500 members, and that in recent years, these lizard men have caused bigger and bigger problems. They really weren't ever a problem for them specifically. They really did nothing more than kind of raid their livestock that they raised and the rest. And recently, this new breed of lizard men have started taking members of their tribe and never to be seen again. You guys probably can assume that they were sacrificed or whatever and disposed of that way, but or eaten, right?
I'm gonna. Can I find if they have any stories of Opata or a obelisk?
Sure. Absolutely. Go ahead. What would that be? I guess that would be history, probably. I guess.
Yeah, like maybe I can find something that resembles those things. Did I get a 1? Can't see my thing.
No, you got a 25.
Okay. It's still not very high, but high enough.
Not very high.
I don't even see his roll. That's weird.
Yeah, it is 25. You don't get to see it.
That's cool. 25 is plenty. Apparently not. Yes, you. They definitely have some stories. They're not recent stories, but they're a long ways back of a gigantic island that comes aground once every 100 years and demands tribute of the group. And most of the time it's what they've collected, and sometimes it's food, but it's always a significant amount of whatever they've collected. So they discuss the fact that every harvest they actually set aside some of the wealth of what they have over and have collected it over years and years and years, expecting that this island will return to demand it.
The island. Perhaps that would be an opportunity to use that one invite for the ghosties to come back. Return of the King moment.
Is
Yeah.
the island have an obelisk?
He says that there's one story that his uncle on his mother's side told him one night after drinking way too much thornberry, which you learn is a thornberry is one of the weeds that grows in their area that some of the old timers make into almost like a moonshine that actually has more of a poisoning effect than it does a drunk effect.
Sweet.
But they still drink it to prove that their worth and that how much of men they are, even though they're they're old and past their primes. But in this almost poisoned haze, he told him of a story of this item of power, of this strange almost tower that just continued on into the sky as far as you could see, of shining black, that seemed to control everything and anything that came within its area of influence. And that the only way that the story even reached his uncle was that this traveler, this mountain of a man, washed up on shore and with his dying breath told his uncle this story, which makes everybody thought was just fevered tales of an old man who was trying to impress the youth, but maybe there was something to it.
I see. Okay.
I jotted it all down.
Yeah. Very good. All right, anything you guys do before you make it to... I'm assuming you guys are going to the dock north of Squallhaven, where Thorin wanted you to meet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the only thing that Whisper will need would be a description or the dagger insight, but...
Yeah, I'll make sure I get you that too. Yeah.
He'll continue to work with the beast folk and the halfling women as much as he can on tactics and what their roles will be on the ship.
Roll a persuasion check for your interaction with the women.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Does
you have disadvantage?
Yeah. Well, I have -1.
I'm going to assume that...
I got a 1.
I'm going to assume that
they
probably tried to grease the wheels a little bit on that before it happened, but so he doesn't get disadvantage, but that's still really bad. So yeah, probably...
It's not to listen to me like this all the time.
Yeah. Most of the women are giving you lip service more than anything else. They're really not... You can tell that they're kind of wondering why a man is trying to teach them combat stuff. And although they're not being out and out disrespectful, they're not really engaging very much with that. So okay, cool. So you guys continue on. You guys all took a long rest, so you got that in. So go ahead and get that done, which is awesome.
Yay!
And then we're gonna say you kind of skirt the coast, because although Thorin said north of town and gave you kind of a vague description, you're not exactly sure how far north and there. You know it's an abandoned dock, but that's kind of it. So you obviously... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Open level, don't we? The 6th level?
Yes,
okay.
we do, because you guys...
We do.
Preston. Yeah.
All right.
So we're going to do one more thing, and then we're going to call it here, just so you know. So you guys come up to... along, you've given word obviously to the crew, the beast folk that's you've got assigned in the crow's nest, probably one of the foxkin with the best eyesight up there, and you can hear him yell down. Most of you don't understand. Alundo, you're actually beginning to understand their language, and you hear kind of, it sounds like almost like a chittering fox noise, excited in nature. Everybody else hears, and Alundo, you hear, "I've found it! I found it! There it is!" Mm-hmm. And you see him reach out with a hand and point. And you guys don't see it. You guys look off along the coast, and you really don't see what he's pointing at.
Do you want us to roll for our hit points, or do you just want us to use the average?
Whatever you prefer.
Wait, what is my...
If you guys would like to tempt fate, feel free. And if not, the average.
I'll roll.
What's the average?
For you is 5 per level.
Yep.
5 plus your constitution.
Plus your con, right?
Is it? That's what it is for every die 8, right?
Oh,
For
my
dying.
constitution is 1, so I'll get 6, so that makes sense. Why would I not?
Yep, that's up to you.
I mean, I'm not gonna roll.
You could get an 8 or you could get a 1.
I'm not. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not gonna do much
Chances are you're
better.
probably gonna roll lower than 5.
It's true. That absolutely is true.
Yeah, I'll take my 8.
There you go. Okay.
I won't do Strider.
It's funny.
so-
Most every time I've rolled, almost always rolled the average. That's what it come out to be after I've rolled all the levels.
Eventually,
Yeah,
right? It comes
yeah.
out to average. Yep. So
Mm-hmm.
okay, so you guys you travel for about another hour, and then all of a sudden you see what the beast folk pointed out, and I will show you what it looks like. As you do so,
Do I get more spells?
You do.
this thing.
You should.
Will it automatically do that?
No, you just
Or do
get
I
more
have
to
to
memorize
change it?
per day. You get.
I don't get any more level.
No,
I just get
no,
more.
you get
I
Does
just
that
get
make
more.
does that make you 7th level?
you get an extra 3rd level.
Okay, I see. It updates it on
Yeah.
its own.
Okay, what do we see?
So this is what you see. You're obviously in the boat offshore quite a bit, but appears to be the remnants of an old stone dock.
Cool.
Kind of haphazardly juts out into the water there, and a very, very old, worn path seems to wind its way back into what appears to be a dilapidated structure, some sort of building tucked back into the trees there a bit.
Huh.
And Sharlag says, "Shall we go aboard? Go ashore."
Let me send my bat first.
Good plan.
Indeed. How far does that thing go?
Well, with me, far.
I'm going to cast Alter Self. I'm gonna have gills. I'm gonna go swimming and then send my bat. I'll just stand in the water. While I do
All
that.
right. So you swim over to the dock?
Yeah.
Where you're swimming to, or how close? Okay.
But I
So you swim up
stay
to the
under
dock.
the dock, though, no one can see me under the water.
Yeah, that's fine. No problem. It actually gets really shallow. That water actually crashes up underneath the dock. It looks like at some point when this dock was built, the water level was probably quite a bit higher. There's no way you could get a boat to this dock any longer. It kind of crashes underneath there, and the water runs up underneath and is maybe only an inch or two deep, and then pulls its way back as depending on the pond as the waves crash or ebb there. So you make your way into the water as shallow as you can. You actually don't even make it to the dock. Well, we'll say you kind of hang out in that 2 or 3 feet of water and kind of stay underneath the water there. But you send your bat. And where do you have your bat look? Where is he going?
He's just gonna look all around. Look for anything hidden or look for a thorn
Okay.
or
Have
whatever.
him make a perception check. Make a perception check.
Where is my bat? My bat is in here. Mr. Bat. Mr. Bat. Character sheet. Perception is +1. Did it roll?
Yep, got it. Why did you wisdom though? Oh, I guess that's
Because I just use
Never mind.
perception. So.
Yep, exactly right. Yep, got it. 13. Okay, so he flies kind of over along the beach, following that path, and goes along, and he notices that that building that's back there looks to be maybe an old fisherman's shack, from what you can tell from the vision. You can see that there's some old deteriorating rope hanging from there. What looks to be maybe some harpoons that are broken and kind of laying in there. The building itself is kind of on its last legs. You can tell that the foundation is still in place, but it's shifted and it's barely kind of standing up. But what he does notice that seems to be a little odd to you is that there looks to be maybe some drag marks through the sand as it cuts into the building, and then there's very faint traces of what appears to be some kind of red liquid in those drag marks.
Alright, he's gonna go and pick up some of the red liquid with his hand. Maybe he'll lick
Okay.
it to see if it's blood. He probably would know that. So.
He sends back, "It's blood."
Oh dear. Always problems we have.
I am gonna go out of the water, and then I'm gonna send a message back to the boat. How far away is the boat? I don't know.
You're from where you're at. Let's see. Yeah, those out of the surf. It's probably 300 yards
Okay,
away.
well, I'll swim back so I can send a message back to.
That's fine.
Tell the captains of the boats what I see, and I suspect malplay.
Okay. You guys all get the message eventually. That looks like there's some drag marks and maybe a blood trail leading into this dilapidated old fishing shack.
I think we should send 2 people invisible that are very stealthy to go check it out.
Okay.
I'll volunteer.
Yeah.
Strider can volunteer.
Yeah, I think you two would be the best.
He would.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would for sure.
And then I can make
Okay.
them invisible from the boat, and then I can just.
Yep.
Let me see if I can do all those spells at once. Alter Self.
Does that require concentration? I
It
don't know.
does. So.
So you need to keep.
Yeah.
drop-
No. Yeah.
I'll
I'll
do-
just stay in the boat, and then they can.
Okay.
They can. I don't know.
Or do you want me to make stealth checks for me
Actually,
and
I'll
Strider?
stay under the dock. Is what I'll do, so I can send my bat, so I can hear what's going on. So.
Yeah, you can stand up under the
Yeah,
dock
yeah, that's
actually,
what I'll do.
because water splashes around you. The deepest it gets is about mid calf. That's the deepest it gets when the water comes all the way in. Other than that, it rushes out, so you don't have to worry about it
Yeah,
that way.
I'll just do that so I can have my bat nearby, just in case they get in trouble. I can send for help or whatever. So.
Okay. All right, very good. So you turn them invisible, and then you guys head ashore, or how do you get there? You swim? Do you guys take the boat? What do you guys do? One of the tendercraft, or what do you do?
Well, before I turn them invisible, I think we would get there on the. Swimming would probably be best, but I can do the illusion thing where I cover up the boat with an illusion and then get underneath the dock and then do invisibility to them.
That's fine.
So the dock comes in, the boat comes in and docks, and then we exit
Yeah,
the
we
boat.
just put the boat underneath the dock.
That's fine. You can definitely wedge it
then-
underneath there because it's a small boat and there's
I can
plenty
use
of.
a,
The dinghy,
I can
get
use
ya,
an,
I got it.
the illusion to make it look like there's, we're part of the ocean, so it doesn't even look like we're there, basically.
Okay.
Silent image.
Okay.
I'm marking off my spells, by the way.
I know. I figured you were. Yep. Okay. Cool. So you cast that, and then cast invisibility on the two of them.
Yes.
All right. What do you guys
level.
do? You're now invisible. Yeah. Okay. So you're now invisible, both of you.
All right. So we'll both roll stealth checks
Yes, please, in the tower.
in the tower. I think we both. Oh,
And I'll have my bat follow them, and then if they fall to the ground, my bat will come back to me and get me.
Okay.
I'm rolling 2, and then we both had the same bonus.
Okay. Perfect. Okay.
Oh, and we rolled not that. Wait, that didn't. Is that right?
Yeah, it's fine because I can read it there. I can see what they are individually, so
One
that's
and-
fine.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, those are both terrible.
Yes, they are.
Well, except it only gave us so one's an
Which-
18 and one's a 9, right?
One's an 18,
Okay.
one's an 9. So one's fine. So yeah, so you guys head up the beach, and doing your best to kind of keep your footprints hidden as much as possible, but you're invisible. So you head over that direction, and as you approach, both of you being highly perceptive, you notice over kind of by this tree. I'll kind of mark it on the map here. There looks to be what the signs of a struggle. And as you look a little closer, you see that the drag marks actually originate from this area.
All right.
And you can see that their blood trail heads towards the building.
Towards the building to the left there.
Yeah, they're kind of head right over here, right on the front there, which is a little difficult to see right there, is where there's a door that's it's completely open. The door itself is broken off the hinges. You can see it's flap a little bit, and the breeze coming off of the water, and the drag trailhead's in that way as well as the blood trailhead's in there too.
We'll stay 10 feet away from one another. And kind of flank. Strider will go towards the door, and then Whisper will kind of circle the building, look for another entrance.
Okay. You make your way kind of around, we'll say kind of the north side of that. As Strider steps into the doorway, you notice that almost the entire side of the building is missing over there. You can see almost directly inside of that. And as you kind of round that corner, just as Strider steps in there, you see that there is a body in here that seems to be partially propped up against the wall, blood just trailing out of the center of the chest. And Whisper, you notice right away that the figure is very familiar.
Oh, jeez.
It's Thorin's apprentice that helped you.
Oh, the young kid?
That helped you with the stash the wagon and talked to you in the forge that time and the rest. His eyes have glazed over and has a vacant stare looking around, and there appears to be a large puncture wound in the center of his chest that is still weeping blood.
Whisper's gonna go over.
Try to save him if you can.
Well, right, but I don't think either one of us has a medicine kit. Whisper will make a medicine check. And see if he can stabilize
Strider's
him.
Probably pretty good at. Oh, you have high wisdom too. That's right. But Strider can help you.
He did. 17.
And you work on him for quite a bit. You're pretty confident you're doing the right things to bring him back, and
poison.
It doesn't seem to have any effect. As you're kind of pressing on his chest and trying everything you can to revive him, you notice his left hand is clenched into a fist, and there appears to be something hanging out of the bottom of it.
All right. Whisper will pry his hand open and see what it is.
You open it up, and on the inside of it appears to be a piece of parchment that's been wadded kind of into a ball as tightly as possible. And as you kind of get it and stretch it out as best as you can, you see kind of scrawled in what appears to be blood just a few simple words. Thorin taken. And then it says Regent.
Of course.
And that's it.
Time to go attack them.
Yeah.
And that's where we'll stop.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Cool. That was awesome.
Fucking Regent.
I hate that bastard, but now we can go kick his ass.
I've got a quick question here.
Yeah.
I've got expertise coming again at 6th level.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So how do I double my?
You go into your.
How do you double it?
You go into your cogwheel.
Yeah.
It's on the top right.
Oh, okay.
And then,
yeah, I got it. Yep. Okay. There we go.
So now your perception's going to be like 29 instead of.
Well, I'm increasing. I can't. You can't double expertise, right?
No.
No, it only goes.
Yeah.
That's as high as it goes.
Yeah.
But that means you can do other things awesome. If you didn't take expertise and stealth, definitely take that.
Yep.
That's all. It's cool for a thief. And then lockpicks and tools are usually useful, but you know.
Well, that's my character's focusing on insight, investigation, persuade, and perception. So those are my.
I get
four.
another channel divinity.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah, at 6th level, yeah.
You guys are rapidly becoming like super badass rather than just mostly badass.
So what do I
You
get?
have to throw 4 dinosaurs at you next time instead of just 1.
I don't get what it is. Oh. Divine domain feature.
My spells turn mega powerful if I use
Yeah.
extra spell slots.
Yeah.
So this divine domain feature means that I get
You just get an extra.
like
Power,
I
right?
just get extra bonus to those
You have to
things.
read what it says.
I think so.
I know I'm reading it, but I don't get what.
What are you, a Tempest clerk?
Yeah. So I. So many things.
I'm
I'll
loading
have
up
to read all
fantasy
of it.
grounds. Yeah, it'll tell you what you get per level. Basically, I think you get a new power and then you get an extra divine slot. I think, something like that. And then of course your spells.
Yeah, I got another 3rd level spell slot, but it just says. I don't know if that means I get another bonus on those items or what the hell.
Oh, you get 2 per long rest now for Channel
Yep.
Divinity. Yep. Okay.
And then there's usually like a power, some kind of power increase or something, like a special power you get too. That's it.
Yeah.
Like it.
I get it's a divine domain feature. So I'm looking at that, but then it doesn't really give me a lot of information about it. So I gotta look up my goddess again, I think,
Oh yeah, it's
and see what she is,
Tempest.
her domain
yeah, it
is.
that's what it is. So you get the new
And then
spells.
what?
So,
Right.
Actually, 5th, 3rd. You don't get 5th. Yes, you don't get those.
No.
So that's 2nd level. Thunderbolt Strike is 6th level. At 6th level, when you deal lightning damage to a large or small creature, you can also push it up to 10 feet away from you. That's what you get.
Yeah, Thunderbolt Strike. That's pretty awesome.
And at 8th level, you get something else. So that's what you get. Thunderbolt Strike. And Channel Divinity. I say you can use your channel twice between rests, beginning at 18th level. Yeah,
But-
that's it.
so
you get
should we-
two of those and push people back with your lightning.
Ben, should we erase our experience points then?
You might as well, yeah. Since I decided to change it to
I'm just gonna leave it.
you. You can put 40 million in there if you want. Whatever you want.
500.
1 billion.
Tested a thing. What did that do?
$1 million.
That's great.
What is that?
That's
Oh
7th
man, you
level.
get Shatter. By the way, your cleric spells there
Yeah.
are automatically in your list, like Fog Cloud, Thunderweave,
Uh,
Gust of Wind, and Shatter are always in your list to cast. By the way,
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are nice.
yeah, Shatter's a pretty good spell actually. Fog Cloud's awesome too.
Yep.
I need a better list. I haven't spent any time to actually manually enter them in here, so I have to look
Yeah,
them up all
that's the
time.
one thing when I was looking at. I mean, Al doesn't have any of his spells listed either.
I
he
just
makes-
bring it up on another tab.
He just has his Gloomstalker spells in here, but everything else is not.
Yeah.
Absorb Elements is awesome. That's a great spell.
Uh huh.
I don't think this is a comprehensive list. This one that comes up. Because I have access to all the spells at those levels, right? Just not the. I just have limited slots.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think this list that I've been looking at is comprehensive because it doesn't show shatter on it. Even
Shatter is
though I
a
know.
wizard. Is
Yeah.
a wizard spell, so it's not for clerics.
Right.
Oh, doesn't
Yeah,
count.
you get.
Well, but you get
Oh,
domain.
yeah, gotcha.
Was that 3 die 8, something like that?
For
Yeah.
what one?
Or 4 die 8?
It's 3/8 for shatter.
Yeah.
Shatter's a good spell. I mean, it's only like a 15-foot radius, but it's really good against rock creatures and stuff.
I have it on my list.
Yeah, it's
though.
always on. You always have it.
My
so.
domain. Yeah. And then call lightning and sleet storm.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wait, isn't that 5th
yeah,
level for call
What a-
lightning?
thunder
Isn't
wave.
that a 5th level spell?
Yeah, that'd be the 8th level domain.
I
Right.
don't know. It says it's third.
No, I don't think it's third.
I don't know. It's in here.
It's already in your sheet?
Yeah.
Written wrong.
Oh.
Whoopsie.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Tempest.
I don't recall writing that in there.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
how
5th level for those.
any of this stuff gets anywhere.
Yeah.
3rd level is Gust of Wind and Shatter.
Yep. Call lightning's 5th, and then control water and ice storm. Oh, ice storm, nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. 7th
Destructive
level.
wave. I don't even know what that is. Destructive wave.
Wave of Destruction.
All right.
Constitution save or take 5 die 6 thunder as well as 5 die 6 radiant or necrotic.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good. It's like a 6th level spell, right? Isn't it? 5th.
5th, yeah.
Well, I won't have those for a while.
Yeah.
Well,
that's-
I'll have Lemon's Tiny Hut and Counterspell now. So
Counter says
Super.
I'm going to stop anything, man.
All right. Cool.
Very good. Well, that was
that's
fun.
cool. It tied up.
We got to where
It
we
tied up
needed
all
to
the
be.
loose ends, really. Most of them.
Are on the
I
mainland
guess.
again.
I have a whole following of people now.
You do.
I have
Now,
my own little
what
cult.
What happens if they become acolytes?
Hmm.
I don't know if there's bonuses for that or what.
We might have to make some of that up.
Yeah,
We'll
there's
have to see.
Homebrew it.
You
And
Maybe
who are
the
the
men-
henchmen,
maybe the men
but
will-
you do have to like usually pay henchmen and stuff like that. So, but you know.
I feel like with the women, I'm gonna have to like just fight with them. They'll have to see that I can fight before they really.
Yeah.
I have a warhammer and shit. I got some pretty
You
neat things, so I can.
armor that stays clean all the time? Yeah, cool stuff.
Yeah, right.
All right,
I can still be pretty
Right.
badass for the ladies.
I'm gonna head off now, but to the next
Me too.
time,
Yeah.
Yep.
maybe next weekend.
Yeah, we've got a
Good.
long weekend, so.
Sounds
Cool.
good.
Good night,
Alright.
guys. I'll see
Very
you
good.
guys.
Bye.
Later. See you. Bye.
Uh,